Middlewares are helping us by placing several layers of processing of information and thus separating and simplifying the logic. Actually, a middleware is called when a request is sent to the server with app use. We set up a certain global middleware which will be triggered for any route that we have inside of our project. So this can be, for example, middleware checking for authentication or any other. And the benefit is that we are just declaring it once. When we want to be more granular, we are using middleware for specific top level URLs, such as here. For example, for the admin, we'll be using the authentication middleware. In the same way, we can redirect to a specific router, and this way our admin will become a top level routing URL, and then we'll have a child routes. So it will become admin, profile, edit, and certain user ID here. So let's see how can we use middlewares. In this case, we are trying to reach a certain profile with a user ID. And if we put all the logic inside of here, it will become one very big function. So that's why I've chosen to use several middlewares. So initially, we're checking whether the person who is making the request is authenticated. And then we are grabbing details for the user. Afterwards, we are checking what kind of roles this user has. So the benefit is that first we'll be protected by auth middleware, and then we'll get some details, and then we'll check the permissions or the roles the user has against an admin. So only if the user already fetched from the database will have such admin permissions, then we'll be able to process the request and, let's say, display that you're editing personal information. Let's now see those three functions: auth, get user, and check roles. So for the get user, we are making a database query using the users model that we have imported initially, and we're just checking whether we can find such user where inside of the table its ID is the same as passed from the request. Whenever we are ready with this, we are passing with the next function the same request to the next middleware. If we don't want to do this, we just omit the next function and the next middleware will not be triggered, in this case check roles. So we are having a chain of middlewares. We have first the auth middleware, then get user, and then check roles. And the information between those middlewares is passed via the next function. Okay, let's take a look at the auth middleware. And here we have imported JWT helper function. So we are basically verifying our token, and we are comparing it using the environmental variable secret, which is set in our machine. In case there is an error, we are sending this invalid token. Otherwise, probably we should pass the authentication with the next method. Then the check roles function, where we are accepting an array of roles. Actually, we here passed just one role. We're checking whether for the particular user from the request, which we have already set up in the get user here, its role is one of those that allows this user to process the request. So in case this user has a role of admin, it will allow us to execute the next function, and request basically will pass through. In other cases, we are returning 401 response with a message unauthorized. So that's how basically middlewares function in the environment of NodeJS. They are allowing to simplify our development. All right, guys, if you have enjoyed the information and if you find it useful, you can subscribe to the channel. Thank you.